Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Sit for Change. As always, we're your hosts, Tammy and Martine, here to bring you exciting conversations about making events more planet and people conscious.
And we're thrilled about today's chat. As we're approaching the end of the year, many of us are already reflecting on what an amazing year we had. From the wonderful trips we took to the fun and maybe hectic family gatherings over the holidays.
Oh, yes, we all know how hectic and potentially dramatic some family events can be, especially since we just celebrated Thanksgiving here in the US and we have many holidays around the corner in December. However, on the business side of things, most companies are probably already done outlining their budgets for event schedules for next year. Therefore, today we're going to be talking about the top sustainability focused conferences for 2025 to help you plan ahead.
And I can't believe we're already talking about 2025. That's 5 years away from 2030. So crazy.
Oh my gosh, don't remind me. I'm both excited and anxious about it, especially when you remember that the UN's SDGs set a goal deadline of 2030.
Well, that makes these events we're talking about today even more important, right? These aren't just your usual type of industry conferences. They're the ones shaping the future of how we think about sustainability in event planning. So let's kick things off. Tammy, tell them what's the first one on the list.
Sure. First on the list is Green Build International Conference and Expo. And trust me, this is a cornerstone event for anyone who is serious about sustainability. For 2025, it's being hosted in November in Los Angeles, California, in the US, which is perfect because LA is a big leader in creating citywide sustainability efforts.
Green build isn't just about buildings, right, Tammy? It's about creating sustainable systems that touch every part of our lives. I love how this conference actually used Jedi to filter and categorize their agenda sessions on their website. Now, I'm not talking about Yoda or Obi-Wan here. Jedi actually stands for justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
Okay, I'm glad you specified that because I don't know about our audience, but this is my first time hearing Jedi in our industry, minus any potential Star Wars theme types events.
You're actually not the only one, Tammy. I believe this term is most widely used in academia, but I did find a really interesting opinion article online about why the term Jedi is not a good term to use because of its association to Star Wars. We'll include this link in our description for those who are interested.
Cool. But thanks for highlighting that, Martine. I personally also love how Green Build tackles circularity, waste reduction, and renewable energy, which we all know is key when it comes to event venues and reducing our event's carbon footprint. Martine, what's the next on our list?
The next big one on the list that does such a good job of integrating DI into sustainable practices is Sustainable Brands 2025 in October in San Diego, California, in the US. It's geared toward businesses, but the insights are invaluable for event planners. Plus, they're female founded public benefit corporations that hopes to enable business and society to thrive in harmony with nature.
Love that. Plus, this reminds me of one of our guests, Gianna, mentioning that the value of marketing and sustainability. This means that this conference is a perfect example of connecting sustainability with brand and marketing for event planners, specifically on how to market them effectively and show attendees and stakeholders that sustainability goes hand in hand with brand management and why it matters.
Absolutely. And it looks like this event has been hosted in San Diego the past few years, which is great because San Diego, similar to Los Angeles, has a citywide sustainability plan.
You know, I'm not surprised since California has been synonymous with technology and innovation. The whole state is very committed to sustainability. That being said, it makes sense these two events are both hosted in California.
Agreed. These are probably the top two that we believe do a great job integrating focus on environmental issues with AI, right, Tammy? The next few events we'll discuss have more of a focus on one or the other, since we all know that there are so many subset of topics within environmental discussions and diversity discussions that should have dedicated attention.
Yep, and COP, which stands for Conference of the Parties, is probably the best example of that. If you're in any industry that touches upon environmental sustainability, you've probably heard about COP. It's an annual convergence of delegates from countries across the world to discuss environmental issues. These parties are made up of countries that signed the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in 1992, an international treaty designated to combat climate change. COP29 just completed last month and will be hosted again next November as COP30 in Brazil, and these meetings typically last for 11 days.
That's so cool. I wonder what type of sustainability initiative they have at an event like that. Maybe that could be one of our future case studies, Tammy.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. We could definitely look into that. What's next on our list, Martine?
Next is the DNI Leaders Global Forum, which is a premier hosted in London next April, and it focuses on diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. This event attracts DI-focused professionals from various industries to share strategies and insights for fostering inclusive work environments.
To clarify for our audience, this event isn't focused on the events industry, though, right, Martine?
Correct. But DI topics and skills are transferable across many settings. This conference brings together primarily senior professionals specifically focused on DI. Therefore, it's a great networking opportunity as well as a learning opportunity for even professionals to expand on their understanding of DI strategies.
Exactly. Plus, this event features an exhibition where you can meet their sponsors that provide various type of solutions that can be applicable for events, from D&I strategy consultants to note-taking technology for neurodivergent individuals.
The other great thing about this conference is that it offers a hybrid experience where attendees can choose to attend online or in person, which I love. Talk about breaking the barriers to entry.
I love that. Now, moving into the next event on our list, Event Sustainability Live. It doesn't seem to have a date for 2025 yet, but they were hosted in Las Vegas, Nevada in May this year, as well as London in November. They're a globally recognized event bringing together event professionals, thought leaders, leading event suppliers, and agencies featuring the latest trends on technology and event sustainability.
This event featured major event vendors in the exhibition, such as Cvent and GES, amongst many others. So it's definitely a great networking opportunity as well as a sourcing and learning opportunity. We highly recommend keeping this event on your radar when they release their dates.
Now, last but certainly not least is the National Diversity and Leadership Conference organized by the Diversity First Consortium.
The mission of the consortium is to be a one-stop shop for organizations to access resources on diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. This conference of theirs has featured influential speakers like Barack Obama in 2019 and will feature Oprah Winfrey in 2025.
Those are some definitely powerhouse speakers. I think it's also great that they host this conference in two parts. The first is their virtual education series, and then followed by their in-person conference.
Agreed. They're hosting the 3 training days in March next year, and then the 4-day conference will be following month in April, featuring sessions like Inclusive Intelligence, AI Meets Diversity, Allyship Best Practices, and even managing generational diversity in the workplace.
Those are such amazing sessions.
I know, right? And these are some amazing events we discussed today.
Yeah, and there's so many more out there. We tried our best to highlight the top conferences that were more inclusive of global audiences, encompassing various topics so that you can get the most bang for your buck.
And there are certainly regionally hosted events that may be smaller but just as valuable. So if you know of some, feel free to share them in the comments. We'd love to learn more about these great events out there.
As always, all of the links to the events and resources we discussed today are in the description. We even added a link to an article listing even more sustainability conferences that you can add to your calendar too.
Terrific. Thanks, Tammy. And thanks everyone for joining us today. Make sure to like and subscribe to join us for future episodes.
See y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.